Superhero games are a bit of an oddball in the gaming world. Sometimes they're good, sometimes there's something that you should never ever look at, like a really gross guy in the grocery store, and sometimes they're just okay. Basically, you never know what you're getting into when you pick up a superhero game. So when a somewhat obscure 2005 title comes along called Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects, you never really know what you're gonna get. Could be bad, could be good, who knows? Well, there's only one way to find out. Besides, you know, looking up the reviews. The game boasts two main game modes, a story mode and a versus mode. The story mode just kinda starts off with Thing walking around, city, when he's suddenly attacked. It's time for him to defend his beloved city, so he puts on a fresh coat of gloss and gets ready to do some clobbering. One thing you'll notice right out of the gate is how easy the enemies tend to go down. Now granted, they do some damage when they hit you, but they're so easy to kill. So if you just attack them like a madman and flail your arms all around the attack buttons like a lunatic, then you won't really have a real problem getting past any of the enemies. So Thing takes down the lieutenant guy and begins to interrogate him on why they attacked him, but it seems like he wasn't who they were after at all. Okay, then why would you attack him if you didn't want to kill or capture him? Either these guys have way too much time on their hand, or they just wanted to do a group bonding activity to strengthen their work relationship. Thing is a bit hard to mistake for anybody else on the planet. So after that, the game shows us a cutscene of the mysterious aliens attacking. And it looks like the heroes are losing this battle since Captain America, the Punisher, and even the Incredible Hulk are killed by them. Okay, now this is where the game starts to give me problems. I just played as a Thing and tore those guys apart. But according to the game, the bad guys are so strong that they killed an Avenger, the nearly unkillable Hulk, and an angry guy who works out a whole lot. It doesn't make any sense. So if you didn't catch it already, this game's trying really hard to show that it's dark. And I think we can all remember what happens to a mid-2000s Marvel title when it tries to make itself look dark and serious. One of the main problems I have with this game is that it suffers from a severe case of the game gods. And what do I mean by that? Well, you know, like whenever you're watching a movie and the main character does something really dumb and you're like, hey buddy, this problem can be solved if you just do that. And the movie's like, no, it can't, it must be done this way. Yeah, that kind of happens a lot in this game. Like for example, I'm coming up against this wall as the Thing, and I can't break through it. You might think, okay, maybe the wall's just too much. But just a second ago, I broke through one that looked almost completely identical. What's the difference here, boys? And the only reason the game can get away with it is because the game just gets away with it. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna break through that wall. Well, why not? I said so. It does the same kind of thing. For example, this enemy kills the Hulk one shot. Okay, I guess. But then you have somebody like Elektra who, and I mean, no offense to her, but Elektra is nowhere near as powerful as Hulk. And I mean, she one-shots him with a shove from her shin. Just a tap. Yeah, so the rest of the story is just the same thing over and over again. All the other heroes get a call from the president, another hero, and they go do whatever it is they told them to do. It sounds like it'd be kind of cool, but it doesn't quite work. The story tried way too hard to prove itself, but it lost sight of what it was doing along the way there. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like it tried so hard to be something, but then that something changed along the way and it didn't change with it and it got kind of confused, so it just meshed all the other parts it had together and was like, hey, it's a beautiful story, it's a thing, stuff happens, yeah, it's good. And when you finally get to the end, you're like, I kind of get it, but why? That's dumb. Now, while the single-player campaign is a little lackluster and the story doesn't make much sense, you kinda get the feeling of why it's that way. The game is definitely a multiplayer game, that's what they were shooting for. I mean, look at it, multiplayer is the very first option you get when you get to the main screen. A game can be forgiven for having a not-so-great single-player campaign if the multiplayer aspect of it is a lot of fun. And to be perfectly honest, Marvel Nemesis isn't half bad. I mean, I wouldn't call it a perfect game, and I would definitely choose something like Smash Brothers over it. There's a pretty wide variety of superheroes and villains to pick from to fight out in the streets of New York, or wherever they are. The combat isn't complicated, there's not a billion combos you have to remember. I wouldn't call it first-class stuff, but it can be fun. It's more of a beat-em-up than a complicated fighting game. Now, no game is perfect, but this game seems to have a lot of problems, and I think a lot of the game's problems can be summed up with just one word: explosions! There are so many explosions in this game. Now, if you ever watched any of the old animated cartoons from the 90s, then you know, hey, there's a lot of explosions in those shows. That means this game's a lot like the old shows we used to watch. False, buddy boy! This game is not like that at all. These explosions do so much damage to you. It wouldn't be so bad if it's boo, just bounced off me there. But no, these things can almost kill you in one hit, and they're all over the place. They're there. I don't get it. This game would have been a whole lot better if there weren't constant explosions coming from all over the place. It's like they took Marvel Nemesis and was like, hey, this Marvel Nemesis game, great stuff, you know what would make it better? Minesweeper. Everybody loved that game, let's merge them together. And then they threw them in like some sort of fusion pot and then ding, this game popped out. I mean, seriously, whose idea was it to put explosions in everything? Oh. So in the end, what do I think of Marvel Nemesis? Well, it's not a perfect game, I can tell you that much. There's plenty of bugs and a lot of game concepts that I definitely would have changed. But if you picked it up, grabbed a few buddies, and played a couple rounds, you might actually have a little bit of fun with it. So if there was just one more thing I had to say about this game, is that its title is pretty ironic. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my first Red Corner game review. Now I know what you're thinking. If only there was a way I could figure out when these Red Corner reviews come out faster. Well, fear not, my children, for modern technology has created the device for you, the subscribe button. You hit that bad boy, and through complicated science, it lets you know when our next video is uploaded. It helps you out, it helps me out, everybody wins. And hey, if you wouldn't mind giving me a like on this video, I would greatly appreciate it. Hey, and if you liked this, you'll like some of the other stuff we made. There's a, oh, well, here's another game review right here. Now, it's over in the blue corner, so it's not done by me, but hey, you just might like it. Or if you want to check out some of our video game versus matchups, you can click one of these guys over here and it'll take you straight to it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.